Hey everyone, welcome to Anti-Ruggers United, and today we have an AMA with Octavia. So let's get started by having Luke, who is core member of the team. Please introduce yourself, tell us about your position in Octavia, and also about like where are you coming from in the real life? Like, do you have any kind of career that's related or like technical background, anything interesting like that? And also, what is your experience in the crypto world?
Yeah, so I've been in crypto for over 12 years, roughly. So ever since I was 16. I'm 28 now. First time I got into crypto was when I tried to mine it with a laptop. Did not work well. Wasn't that period of time. It was well after mining became a GPU thing. Then I bought $150 worth of Bitcoin, 0.5 BTC. Very proud of that. And the rest is kind of history. I got involved with the Bitcoin project in 2016, 2017. Became a community manager for them, helped them out with a bunch of things. Then in 2021, well, between then and then, I ran a marketing agency, super successful on that side. And then in 2021, I launched my own meme token as a fair launch, and then built a DEX aggregator and limited order platform, charting platform on the back of that. Had $2.7 billion with a B, traded through our DEX aggregator. The project name was Bolt. I don't know if a lot of people would have known about it if you were in the 2021 BSC bull run. Bolt Finance did something like a 2,000, 20,000x. It's still 20x up from where it launched from, so I'm still super proud of that. With the DEX aggregator, 300,000 active wallets, it was not a small deal. In 2022, I decided that I'd move on and I'd try building something new and fresh with VC backing and launchpad backing, instead of doing a fair launch where you literally don't hold back any tokens. So that's where Octavia came from. I was thinking about like how can we make AI more useful for crypto, and we took a long time to bring this to market. Like there's a bunch of projects that came out with the whole AI narrative, but they kind of were like rushing to market, whereas we took our time building out nice products, finding that market fit, and now we're ready to launch. So that's kind of my background.
What about in like the real life or before you got into crypto? If you're doing this 100 full time, like any previous experience, like say CEO or
So I founded a marketing agency. So I founded a marketing agency in Australia called Octavia Engine, and we worked with big name brands. The biggest of which was Bupa, which is a multinational health conglomerate. We worked with their dental arm in Australia to market their business. So lots of experience in marketing, lots of experience with blockchain that just goes back all the way to when I was quite literally 16. And plus all the experience we had building Bolt, building out Telegram bot that had 1,500 installs into groups, things like that. So I'm bringing all that knowledge on how to build a team that are effective into Octavia to make it a success.
Yeah, we actually used Bogged for our token, the one that we launched I believe almost 3 years ago, and we noticed it stopped working I don't know, months, maybe 6 months ago, because we have people checking prices and it's not working anymore. Like, oh man, what happened to Bogged?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to shut down the project. When it comes to launching a fair launch token, if you're competing against VCs with $50 million backing, DEX Tools is just going to win. They have $50 million. We didn't have $50 million to spend on building out the product. So it was a mistake to launch a fair launch token and build such a big product behind it, in hindsight. And now obviously not learning from those missteps and building something awesome with Octavia.
Okay, yeah, it makes total sense. So how large is your team on Octavia, and like how do you know? Obviously, you've been around the space for a long time, so I'm sure you met them all through various projects and maybe even through Bogged, right? I'm just kind of wanting a little bit of a background or more info on the whole team.
So basically, we're bringing the best of. I thought I brought the best of the Bogged team across in terms of technical prowess and know-how. We've hired a wholly new social team, wholly new commercial team, and we're just it's important for me to bring people that I know are excellent development. So we have a very core small development team of 4, including myself. I'm sort of like the technical founder because I'm coding this as well. So when it comes to AI, we need to hire excellent people for AI, and obviously competing against NVIDIA, Microsoft, and such. So I can't say names or anything like that because one of the stipulations part of the contracts we signed with them is to not reveal their ID. That way, we're able to get them for more competitive prices instead of having them charge us more as employees, because we don't want to just privacy and stuff like that. But I'm a fully docs founder, and yeah.
And I don't have to ask this, but I will anyway. So you're the face. You will be in control of the funds. That's right. That's all we need to know.
Yep, I'm fully in control.
Yeah, a lot of other projects, they don't have KYC or they don't have, devs. There are docs. It's a whole different story. We got to pry a little bit more. But I think with this one, we don't really have to spend too much time on that. So we can move on. All right. Let's get into the actual project itself. Do you have like a presentation you want to go through, or just like how do you want to do the, the overall scope of the project?
Yeah, I'll just dive in. So we're building two different things. Two separate parts of the same pie. So Octavia is two things. Octavia is moderation, so community management, Telegram, Discord moderation, that kind of thing. And then it is Assistant. So the whole idea is with the Assistant is you'll be able to say something like, hey, Octavia, buy me $500 worth of Bitcoin when the next ETF gets approved, or buy me the fan token of the winner of the next World Cup. So it'll go off and it will watch those events, wait until they happen, and then it will go and make that trade. That's the ultimate goal of Octavia. We're really proud. We're really excited to be able to roll that out with it by the end of the year. When it comes to moderation, I would love to show you how it works. Because this is like the cornerstone of how we're going to make money to sustain development instead of just like doing what other projects do, which is just selling tokens, right? So I'll just share screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, let me go cancel my screen share.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see. Stop sharing. Okay.
All right, excellent. So this is the settings option for Octavia. So people can set their, so say you put it into your Telegram group, say you put it into this Telegram group we're in here, you could have it delete, sexual content or whatever sort of content you need. And then the next step you would do is, the next thing you can do is you can play with it. You can find out what it does. So if somebody comes into your chat and they say, Dev, I go on your drive, we're going to click now, and then it's going to come back almost immediately and say that's FUD. It's hard FUD, so direct FUD, and it would get deleted within the chat. But if someone comes in and they're like, don't worry, devs won't rug. We still have the word rug in there, but it's perfectly fine. It's just a combo about the project. So Octavia understands the intent behind the message, and that's how it's able to moderate. Now, projects spend somewhere between $1,000 to $3,000 a month on moderation. We are going to charge $50 a month, and we're going to be in every single crypto chat, Telegram, Discord, charging $50 a month, and then driving a lot of that back to the DAO, which will reward token holders and stakers and ecosystem participants. So we're really excited for this. This is why we're like laser focused on building up this.
All right, so take this as a joke, but only half a joke. So this just gave me an idea. So Octavia is an AI, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just a bot, right? So in that case, of devs are going to rug. If you took it to the next level to where at that point Octavia actually checked all the devs, all their, wallets and anything. And if they had a confirmation the devs are indeed going to rug, it's going to be, okay, I agree with you. The devs are going to rug. That would be next level, man. Take it as a joke, of course, but that was just a funny thing that popped in my head,
Look, that's one of the
AI actually started agreeing with the flutters.
we want to make sure we're only allowing people who aren't going to rug access to Octavia. So that's going to be something we're going to need to use AI to determine how risky is this project.
Yeah, I feel definitely you don't want to sell it to every project, right? Because you don't want to give a bad name to where every rugger is using this AI for mods, or you don't want to be associated in a negative way.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we're going to do is if you get banned by Octavia for saying something that's funny, and you go to Octavia, you'll be able to go to Octavia and message Octavia and be like, hey, this wasn't actually not true. And then what it will do is it'll try to associate, well, one, it'll see if you're trustworthy enough, and it will try to do an evaluation. And if it's able to determine that you're telling the truth, it'll alert us so we can manually investigate. And if we find that it is actually true that devs are roguing or whatever, then we'll make sure that Octavia isn't in that group anymore, or like offering the moderation. Another thing is when you say something, and if you disagree that Octavia was moderating you in incorrect fashion, so you weren't actually rugging, you weren't actually fighting, you were telling the truth, it's just a bit negative. That will also come up to us. First, we'll go through an AI that kind of like determines whether it was likely that you are trustworthy based on what we see from you. And then if we still don't believe you, we'll go to us, and then we'll evaluate, and we'll be able to say, actually, no, that's okay. You're allowed to say that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I do agree, like if there's like some kind of negative or constructive criticism, then you have to be able to differentiate between that and like a straight up troll, right? Because let me tell you a little secret. The way I analyze projects the quickest way possible, like as basically like a rough, quick idea if it's a scam or not, and how likely it's a good project to even spend time in, is if I don't get banned in the first 10 minutes of joining the Telegram, then most likely it's actually legit. And I don't do that by like straight up FUDing. Like to me, it's almost like the easier it is for me to quote unquote FUD, like the more reasons they're giving me to ask like these questions, like why is this going on? Why is that going on? Like, the easier it is for me to get mad and be like asking them questions that are super blatant red flags, the faster or the more likely chance I know that project is a complete scam. And I could do that in 5 minutes. So there are times when I got banned, and then like the devs woke up and they unbanned me because they're like, oh yeah, he's just asking questions. And they hired all these mods that don't know what they're doing, or they're like don't know English, and they just like ban you for asking like any question, right? Like, why does this wallet have this many tokens, or why is this wallet selling tokens and has never actually bought any tokens, and it's like 20%, things like that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I actually had that like happen like a couple times this week where I was actually angry from like their responses. Like I was like thinking to myself, this is such an obvious rug. Like, how could nobody else see it, right? But anyways,
but
yeah, moving on.
People see it, right? Other people see it, they just get banned.
They get banned. Yeah. So the only people that probably left in there are all the gullible ones, or just all the paid off
Bots.
mods, and bots and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, that's actually really good, because I do have that issue with real projects too. Like even the ones we invested in, there's some mods who just aren't really great, and they also have like that whole like god complex. They think they're better than anyone else, and they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna say something, you're gonna FUD, we're gonna ban you right away. But let's be honest, a lot of investors, they kind of want to see the reactions of the devs, of the mods, just kind of like the vibe of the community, right? Like how it is. So you might poke and prod at them a little bit just to see how the devs react, because one big thing for us is when we invest into the team more than actual project, because let's be honest, the project could be like shit, like there's meme coins, right? They don't do anything, but the team is good. And I'm not saying that support meme coins, usually we don't really care about them, but I'm just saying if the team is good, the project could be successful. But if you have the best idea in the world and and the team sucks and they can't even deliver, then there's no point, right? Idea is just an idea. It's really about like how you deliver that idea, because anyone could steal anyone else's idea. Anyone else could copy and paste code and copy and paste contracts, or claim they could do in some like amazing utility, but it's going to be quote unquote, 2 months after launch, and they rug like 2 weeks after launch. You know what I mean? So it's like none of that stuff really matters until the team starts delivering. So like I said, that's why we like to we believe more in the team itself, and if the team is good, then we know like it's almost guaranteed that the project itself, and they're going to deliver on everything they promise. So yeah, so that's actually I feel like that AI bot is going to definitely help with that, because like I said, there are projects we actually like, but they have issues with the modding, and they take off the wrong investors. Like if I'm holding like 5% bag, and they and all the investors or all the mods in there are just like quote and cheats in a way, they're just like telling you to F off or like sell your bags. I'm like, is that how you want to treat your investors? Like when you have a whale for that specific token, say holding 5%, and he's asking some concerning questions, and you tell them to sell and get the hell out, and I have like 30 other guys in my lounge that are owning the same token. I mean, they kind of don't know what they're asking for, right? Because if we should all sell, that project's gonna like immediately die.
Yeah.
So same as moving on. All right. So we talked about the AI bot for the moderation. Is there and then the revenue you said is going to be from them basically renting that service as a bot. So you have that as a revenue already, right?
Yeah.
What else?
We'll be charging $50 a month up from that for this service, and that's way cheaper than spending $2,000 a month on 24/7 moderation. Now they'll be able to decide how they deploy it, whether they deploy it, between at 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. so that when they're not online, it's all being moderated nice and tightly, or they do it 24/7 and kind of like just sits there moderating. Additionally, we'll have the assistant, which will automatically be able to answer questions that are like, if someone comes in, they're like, what's the contract address? Octavia will pipe up and answer the question. That's something we're going to be rolling out in a couple of days. For now, right now, we have, if you have to use the word Octavia and then your question.
So this part that we talked about that's the Octavia for groups, right? Because I seen that there's like two different use cases for it. There's the for groups and there's the other one. So what about the other one, the one that's not for groups? It's like for personal use.
Yeah, so that is a longer term play in terms of us delivering that. The whole goal of that is to be able to say, hey, Octavia, buy me the fan token when they win the World Cup, or if I don't know, if CZ is found guilty, do this action, those sort of things. Sell my BNB,
Yeah, can I go ask them like, oh, there's this guy that he scammed us and he scammed, people out of pocket, and we know his real name and username. How do we make sure he's in prison?
Well, I'll probably tell you to call the cops, but
yeah. So
there's on-chain things you can do, right? There's on-chain things that Octavia will be able to do in terms of making transactions, interacting with smart contracts, that kind of thing.
So is the Octavia like the actual, the personal, and even the way the group one work, is it based off of the OpenAI open source?
So no, we don't use. So we don't purely use OpenAI. We use OpenAI for some things, but the majority of the computation is done by our models that are trained by us.
Okay, so you guys did have a big impact or a big, your own, development in this. It's not, because I know like a lot of AIs, they're not real AI projects. It's more of like ChatGPT with this reskin, or like they put ChatGPT into a Telegram prompt, and that's all it really is, right?
Yeah, you'll never get good moderation out of ChatGPT. So that's one of the reasons why nobody else has done this, because it actually takes work.
I mean, the good thing about ChatGPT is that it's better than Siri, that's for sure. Like, I can't get no answers out of Siri. Not Siri, the Apple
absolutely.
AI. But yeah. All right, cool, awesome, man. So that's everything's good so far. So like in the TLD or our summary, this is basically a project that's gonna have revenue right away. So you said 250 a month, right? So 100 projects are using it per month. That's going to be $25,000 revenue, right, per month. And how is that getting? Is it in 250?
So it's $50 a month plus. So some projects will spend $250 a month. Some projects will be $50.
Oh, so there's a different. There's like a scale of how much features.
We're not charging at the moment because we're using it as an advertising resource, but we'll start charging later, not this month, but later this quarter. And then we'll go from there. So we're trying to get 1,500 groups by the end of the year.
Okay, and will this revenue? How will it get distributed? Is it just going to go? Is it going to be any buybacks?
So half of it goes straight to the DAO. Now the DAO, for legal reasons, the DAO algorithmically distributes the VR amongst the various programs we have, which include staking, include our train to earn program, and include governance, other things like that.
And the DAO is going to be all solely based on how many tokens you own?
Yeah. So your participation in the DAO is subject to your staking and how many tokens you own.
Okay, all right. And then 50% of that is going into the DAO, and then it's split up, right? So there is that revenue sharing. So it's not actually going directly into the chart, like no buybacks or anything.
That's for legal reasons.
It makes sense.
We have to be quite careful with how we do this when it comes to ultimately rewarding the DAO, which then algorithmically rewards users. Sorry, I'm being very careful with my language here.
Definitely. I mean, we're like in a similar boat, and because we've been working on a project too, and we're trying to make it 100% legal. And that's the part that takes
Yeah.
longer than anything else. It's just making sure like we don't have, the government knocking on our door, for something we don't even know about.
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
ultimately, our goal is to reward everyone who partakes in the video ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So is there any other revenue plan for the future other than the moderation, or are you going to have
Yeah,
some
so
kind of?
the assistant will have priority. So if you have more via state or more via a higher tier for the monthly subscription for the automation, you'll be able to do things like have Octavia snipe faster. So say you want to know if one wins the World Cup, you can have it happen every second instead of every, for example, for the free tier, it might be every 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And it says, did you say snipe?
Yeah, so not snipe in the sense like waits for a block or anything like that, but like watches the news really fast. So like
Oh yeah.
as if
Okay.
you're
Yeah.
like clicking refresh and it's like, oh, nothing's changed, right?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I went through all of that. Let's go look at the tokenomics. Actually, no. I don't know what's better to do first. Yeah, tokenomics. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So let me see if
Probably
this is
share
still
your screen if you
share the
want.
screen. Okay, this is the updated one. This is the most current.
This is up to date. If you clicked it from our website,
Yeah, this is where I
looks
got it
right.
from your website. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is a good way to go through all the private or any previous sales too, or all the tokenomics. So for taxes, is there going to be any tax?
No tax on the token, no.
Okay, no tax on the token. So total raise, that's the target, right? 3.69 million.
Yep, correct.
And current valuation is 8 million. That's a private sale. Okay, so right now, are we at public with the next with
So the
the
IDOs, yes,
pad?
the ChangeGPT Pad just finished their first come first serve round that lasted 6 seconds. Now we have pools and Decubate. So Decubate is up next on the 18th, and pools is on the 19th. But you'll need to pre-register. Decubate has a free tier, so you don't need to hold their DCB token. But I think the free tier currently is only giving about $5 of allocation. The other option is DAO Maker, which is a strongholder offering. Basically, buy the DAO tokens, you put the DAO tokens in, and then based on your contribution there, you'll get a certain amount. So I think, say you put 1,000 DAO tokens in, you'll be able to refund all of them, but you'll be able to take out some of those as via tokens. So I think it's 3.3 times oversubscribed, so you get like 30% back, more or less.
Okay.
Like some people have more power.
So DAO Maker is ongoing currently, right?
Yeah, DAO Maker is ongoing. You can participate right now.
Okay, so DAO Maker is ongoing. What's their limit? How much can they raise?
They have 400,000 in allocation, $400,000.
400,000.
So so the way it works is you contribute DAO tokens, and then once everyone's contributed in 3 days, they'll basically get an allocation based on that, and then they'll be able to refund anything that's excess.
Okay, so they got 400K. So this one got sold out in 6 seconds. What was their allocation?
So I believe it was 250K. Yes, it was.
250K. And that's the only one they have. I see some upcoming thing, but so they have any other rounds? Or
No. So ChangeGPT is done. That where it says upcoming is like earlier from that.
Okay.
It's like a timeline.
So currently, if we want to get in, we either got to go to DAO Maker, and then there's 2 coming up, right? 2 more.
Yeah, Decubate and Pools. Decubate on the 18th and Pools on the 19th. But you'll need to KYC and register prior to then. Pools have you only need 1 Pool X token to partake in the lottery, or 250 to partake in the guaranteed round. Decubate is guaranteed no matter what, how many Decubate tokens you have, but you get more if you have more Decubate tokens.
Okay, and did you say KYC is required for one of them?
I believe KYC is required for all of them.
So if you're in the US, so if you're in the US, you can't get in.
I'm not sure on specific rules regarding those launch pads.
Okay, yeah, because from what I know, any launch pad that requires KYC, they always say, "Oh yeah, KYC except US customers. You guys are not allowed."
Yeah. Yeah,
Because I
look,
actually
I
was
was quite tired of it.
excited
Yeah.
about a private sale before, and they require you to fill out all these forms and then like a KYC and all that stuff, and then like at the end of it says, "Oh yeah, we don't accept U.S. applicants." I'm like, do I need to pay off someone in some East Germany or something to be able to participate in the private sale?
I'm going to make no comment. So what's that?
All right, cool. So that's all the public sale rounds, right? That's the 10% of the supply between all those four
Correct.
pads. The seed round, when did that happen? Was that like a couple months ago? And who were the investors for those? Was it just like
Yeah, so we
friends and
mostly
family or like
VCs. Yeah, mostly VCs and family offices. The private was mostly VCs and family offices as well. I think that there was a handful of small launch pads that got like very small allocations, like 25, 50K amongst their communities. But this was when Octavia was not as hyped as it is now. So now it's like everything's selling out so fast.
So the 1.8 million was already raised. The cold round is already done, and the seed
Already
sale
done.
is already done, right? So
Yeah,
and then
raised all that.
basically half of the public sale is done too. So you only have about like what 500K left to go or to reach your 3.69 million, right?
Yeah, and that's all. That absolutely is all going to get done. We have no doubts about that. ChatGPT was done in 6 seconds. Like, there's no way that it's not.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of times when projects have like really large targets early on, and they can't even raise like a 20 BNB private sale. So I'm like, yeah, it's not happening, right? But when you guys already have this all done in the past, then there's really no doubt about it anymore. So like, this is gonna like 100% probably chance of hitting this fairly quick. So you guys are going to
if one of our launch pads just disappeared tomorrow, like we could replace it entirely with VC. Like, it's not an issue.
So like for us here in the AMA, what would you suggest? Obviously not financial advice, but like, what would you suggest for us to get in? Since we really only have like the DAO maker option right now.
Yeah, so if you can KYC, jump on their Cubate because they have a free allocation. It's only a couple of dollars, but it's a couple of dollars worth at launch price. Then we're launching on Gate and on PancakeSwap on the 20th at 1 p.m. You can take part in that. That's going to be quite an event. And just join us because this is an awesome project. It's a little bit more of a long-term play than more of a degen play, but it is something that is like we're building for the long term with Octavia. We're building something that's going to drive revenue into the DAO. It's going to be, I'm trying to build a giant here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like the fact that you guys only gave a discount of like 25% here, 20%. This was a big 50%, but it's a 10%.
It's a small raise, yeah.
Smaller allocation. Yeah, because I mean, when I see projects that are offering like 10 times the value, I'm like, that's when I get really skeptical, So.
Yeah, and then you feel stacked up against when it comes to VCs, right? They're like they're going in for like 10% of the price. It's like,
exactly, and then the devs could always, just dump a whole bunch of free bags claiming that it's some investor, because I don't know if you were around. I'm sure you were. If you remember like a project like Pup Doge that raised like 16,000 BNB at that time. I think it was the largest raise like ever, like for pre-sale, or one of the largest. And then when a whole bunch of wallets started dumping, we were like, they claimed they raised like $10 million or like also like or like 8 million or something outside of that 16,000 BNB raise. So it's like when you see a bunch of wallets that you never heard of and then never contributed dumping, like you know exactly what's going on, right?
Yeah, it's important to also note that the seed and private have cliffs. They do have an initial unlock on TG. It's smaller, but they also have cliffs.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So this is all at 47%. So let's go down to the rest of it. Team 10%, advisors 5%, reserve, ecosystem, marketing, and liquidity. So okay. So all these like team advisors are these going to be vested? Actually, no. Yeah, it says right here, TG % of allocation.
So that number, how much they've unlocked on TG. Yeah, and some of them have significant cliffs. Look, if you look at Team has a 12-month cliff. That's how confident we are in this project. Yes, 12-month cliff, and it unlocks in the course of 34 months. So it's actually 4 years until our full team is unlocked, whereas on public it's 8 months. That's how confident we are in this project.
Yeah, this is actually really good. Yeah, really good info. So seed round, they're getting a 2x, but it's smaller raise, and they're only getting 5% of that unlocked at launch, TGE.
Yeah, as opposed to public, which is 15%. So it's even more. Public gets more of their money, even if it is a half the amount. They get more unlocked at TGE.
Yeah.
And
So
then C gets a
everyone,
3-monthly.
basically everyone is going to be vested in some way or another, even public
Yeah,
sale.
exactly.
So this is actually I think a very genius idea because even if you get into like seed, private, go around, a lot of times if you get in, you don't really need to buy at launch anymore, right? Because it's like, yeah, I got in, I could just sell my bags whenever, or I already have 2x, not worried. But if it's vested, that gives you people more incentive to have more volume at launch, because maybe they want to have bags that are free market, right? That you want to be able to buy and sell whenever you want, and play those, swings, zero tax token. You could totally trade the crap out of it, especially like first week or so when the volume is huge. So yeah, I think that's actually a really good idea to like have it vested. So that gives everyone that has already contributed FOMO to buy more at launch, so they could at least trade it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting time at launch, and we're pretty excited. We have we're setting records on the launch pads, honestly. So in terms of interest, it's just huge. So yeah, get involved.
And also, I believe I've seen that you guys are going to be launching on a centralized exchange too. Is that correct?
Yes, we have 2 centralized exchanges. The first one is Gate, and the second one is Signed, but I can't tell you what it is. It's going to be announced very shortly. It's just it's very last minute trying to get it all sorted, but it's going to be signed. It's all paid for.
Are they going to be all launched there also on day one on the 20th?
Yeah, yes, both of them are day one. Something you might not know about exchanges, by the way, is when it comes to listing on exchanges, they often take tokens, and what they do with the tokens is they dump them straight on retail. We have been very strategic to pay them both exchanges in cash, and this means that we're going to have less sell pressure on launch. So we're very strategic with how we're doing everything.
That's what I heard. I heard they do that, but they claim that the tokens are for the market makers. They're because you need the volume, you need the liquidity, right? So
nonsense.
So it's all bullshit. So you're still gonna need to have your own market makers then, right? On the exchange.
We have our own market makers. They don't have market makers. The exchanges don't have market makers. So we have our own liquidity providers and making sure that they'll be managing. Yeah.
So then technically, exchange doesn't require any tokens because you're providing the market makers yourself anyway, right? So
so we're making sure we pay them in cash and make sure we get good deals there. It's better for us, better for investors, for people who hold the token, because we don't want people we don't want to have a dump on launch. Why would you want that?
I mean, one way to summarize this space is like, if you aren't scamming, man, what are you doing, right? That's kind of how you summarize the exchanges. If they're not doing something shady,
I don't want to call anyone. I don't want to say anyone's a scammer, but it's not in our best interest to offer tokens to exchanges.
Yeah, but I mean, like even tokens. Like MEXC and any of those like bigger exchanges, like you could only trust them as far as you could throw a stick, right? Like I wouldn't even keep 5 figures on a MEXC account. That's what the leverage is for, right? If you want to trade big positions, just use the leverage, because I wouldn't trust, especially the ones that don't require KYC, which is actually
I mean, if you're paying someone tokens, they're going to sell them. That's just like
for sure, exactly, yeah.
So we're doing our best to avoid paying people tokens.
It's almost like that dump isn't coming, so you just like wait to scoop it up as soon as you sell their tokens.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I think this is all good. No issues there. Everything's vested. Looks good. So the launch price is going to be the market cap. This is fully diluted is 10 million, correct?
Fully diluted, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
that includes like 4 years of vesting. So
yeah, see, honestly, I like the fact that you're showing this number, not the bullshit, it's the circulating supply is only like 300K market cap, because if this is the issue I have with a lot of projects, and I'm very forward about this. First of all, if you're claiming to be a long-term project, why are you making such a big emphasis on the circulating supply? when the people that are actually going to invest long term, they're looking at the fully diluted supply, right? Like, I mean, if I want to sell it 2 days after launch, then yeah, I don't really care about the fully diluted supply. But if you are selling your project as a long term investment, that you should definitely be talking about this number right here, the 10 million. And I'm glad that you guys are doing it just the way that I think it should be done. So that's really good. I totally agree with that 100%. Like, I mean, yeah, like you just care about pump and dump, and yeah, you say your 300K valuation, right? But yeah, you have to kind of match what you're trying to sell, right? Like, so yeah, totally makes sense to me. Everything adds up. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else we need to discuss on here? Okay, this is the pitch deck. We talked about that. Okay, so I think the big thing for us was the tokenomics. Everything looks pretty solid. It's all vested. There's no red flags. The liquidity, there's going to be 15% liquidity. So the liquidity is not all added initially.
No. So some of that is to make sure that the central exchange is operating correctly with our market makers. So we're not going to use all that for liquidity provision purposes. It's just to make sure we had enough there, no matter what, for liquidity.
Oh yeah,
that is only for liquidity provision.
Because this liquidity, this allocation, 15%. This includes,
it's quite a lot. I will admit it's quite a lot, but we're not like that's the not worst case scenario, but it's provision for extremes.
Yeah, and this
the worst thing you can have is not enough liquidity, right?
Yeah, not enough token for liquidity. Yeah, I mean, even then, it's not even really like, if you think about it, it's not that huge, because from all the tokens you're given to the public, or it's 47%. So even 47% versus.
But this also, this also gives us leeway if we get a Binance or some of the larger exchanges. It gives us that leeway to have liquidity to provide.
The thing is, you don't need a huge liquidity, because like these are all vested anyway, right? So you're gonna have a lot.
It's more longer term. It's more longer term.
Yeah,
if we need
exactly,
that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so I think that's all good. All done with that. I don't really have any more other than like talking about for the catalyst. So you guys are launching on the 20th. You're gonna have that revenue share with the group, the moderation, things like that. And that's gonna go back to
exciting for us because
so the main advantage, let's say, of holding token, obviously than just the price going up, or you believe, you speculating on the price going up, is you're going to be part of the DAO, and you're going to get that revenue. So let's say you do build it to where like 10,000 projects are using the bot for moderation. That's going to be some huge revenue, right? So that's going to go back to the DAO, to the holders. And then I'm sure you could always have
to that point too. Like, there's no reason why people want you to be using this product for moderation, just because it's so much cheaper.
Exactly. Like I know. Like just to get one mod, a lot of projects, what they do is they pay like $100, sometimes $200-$300 per week.
Yep, almost $50 a month. It's a no-brainer, and that's what we want to be. We want to be a no-brainer. That plus assistant, plus the ability to see your analytics. We haven't even talked about that. We'll be able to show you like how much your support requests have gone up or down week on week, how your sentiment is versus like, is your community more bullish than other communities on average, those sort of things. They're going to be killer apps for Octavia.
Do you actually have that, any preview for that, or anything you want to show? Because that's actually.
We don't have a preview for that yet. That's going to be launched in the coming weeks. Really excited for it. We're working on building it out at the moment.
Also, another thing that I'm curious about. Can this bot be used in any way, or the AI assistant, to help your channel grow? You know how like either have like maybe in the future, like have it manage a Twitter account, have it run some predetermined posts on Twitter or on Telegram, basically like automated type of stuff to like
Yes, we're focused on the core things at the moment, but in the future we'll have community engagement features as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because like right now, like the whole thing is about using all these bots to like, okay, we're gonna close the chat down, we're gonna rate Twitter. Like Twitter raid management, all like or like shill managing, those kind of things would be actually very useful. If the bot could do it too, then you don't have to pay the managers, right? Same thing as the moderators, right? You just pay them just to have the bot do everything.
Yeah, you saw now you have to go raid Twitter, and I'll unban you once you raid Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
No, I'm joking about it. I'm joking about it. But I'm sure there's lots of plans we have for community engagement. I don't want to talk about them too much because I don't want other people to build them before us. But we will definitely have community engagement features. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's perfect. So I thought I was gonna have a really lot of questions, but I feel the way that this AMA went is pretty easy. Like there's no like nothing, no issues. So like I think I'm actually, convinced and everything as of now. So I don't really have anything else that we need to really question.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a long time. It's been a long journey to get here.
This is one of those AMAs. It's like it could be 3 hours long if I had red flags, but if I don't, it's like an hour.
Yeah, fair enough.
So let's go. I might have more questions later, like when they pop up or anything. But for now, let's go see if the community has any questions. Okay, so I think Oscar asked earlier, can you join private without KYC if it's under the 5K investment? I think he means one of the launch pads that you mentioned that require KYC.
Each launchpad requires different things. You need to check with them. In all honesty, like I'm not privy to all their requirements.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're going to do our research on that because I haven't really used the other two before, so I'm going to go look into that. Because I definitely want to figure out what's the best way for me to invest and for us. Because for example, I'm in the U.S., so I might have to jump through more hoops. But a lot of our community is not in the U.S. So a little bit easier for them.
And if you are in the US, you can always get involved through centralized exchanges after launch. I know everyone wants to get involved in launch pads, but sometimes, like even the allocations that they're giving out, like 10GPT's allocation, or like the allocation sizes I was seeing people buying at, even with the required stacked amount, quite small. It's just because we have so much interest. So, like to get the amounts that people like to get, like if you're a big trader, you might just need to wait to launch. Like you might get scraps here and there, but you might also need to wait to launch to get like to the size you want to have of Octavia.
Okay, so all right, so there's another question here about the audit. So this is audited by third party, but can't find the actual audit information. So is there an audit for it yet? For the actual
go to hacken.io, I'm pretty sure, or hacken.com. I'm going to double check.
I was on the GitHub earlier. I don't know if it's in here.
Hacken.io /projects/Octavia, I believe it is. Let me just double check for you.
Who was it? What company was it?
Hacken.
Oh, Hacken. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this it's a pretty simple contract. I haven't looked at it yet. Since there's no taxes, it's just a very straightforward contract.
Yeah, super straightforward. It's nothing major. It's intentionally straightforward because all the logic will be in the DAO. And obviously, we'll get that audited as the DAO gets rolled out.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part is the actual DAO itself needs to be audited. Like any of the revenue sharing or the way the distribution is, like when the projects order the bot and paid and the fees are paid and how the whole process of like taking payments, distributing the fees, all that needs to be definitely audited.
Yeah, absolutely. And keeping the token simple allows that to be simplified as well. So yeah, if you're interested in reading the audit, Google the words Octavia Hacken. First link is hacken.io /audits/Octavia. You can click there and you can read the audit.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah.
It got a 9 out of 10, but like it's so simple that like a 9 out of 10 means nothing. Like the contract, like if you actually bring it up, even the cursory knowledge of Solidity shows that it's very simple to.
Yeah, because I know like there's the whole in the past there was the whole big meta was all those tax-free contracts, and they're all like the same, like literally like copy and paste of one another. Just like tax-free tokens, right? Now the whole thing is with Solana, and the reason why it's probably the meta right now is because it's tax-free too. So there's a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume, and that causes it to go trending, and that's why a lot of these projects do well as long as the devs don't, rug. It's because with zero tax, it's easy to trade. There's a lot of volume. It gets trending on Dex Tools and all the other, websites, and then more people buy it. That's kind of the big advantage I feel of tax free. It's a lot easier to get CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all the listings.
Yeah, and
all
it's
the
also like serious projects have no tax. If you're not a serious project, you're probably like,
especially
there
if you're going to
are
get
no serious projects on chain that have tax.
Yeah, I think definitely for any serious project, they could start off with tax, but they better plan for it being tax free if they're trying to be successful. Especially with all the exchange listings, So yeah, I let's see if there's anything else. This is okay. Let's see if there's anything on the website that you need to look at. Okay, partnerships.
No, we kept our website nice and simple so you can understand what it is. It's not overloaded with pages. I think a lot of people add random stuff to the docs to like pad it out. Like you'll see like a guide on how to like, I don't know, do very basic tasks, or they'll just write pages about AI. We keep it simple.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the most important thing, one of the most important things is for projects to do well, especially with the large cap, is you need to have buy pressure at launch. So the fact that you guys already have all those rounds completed and that Change GPT sold out in like 6 seconds with 250K. So, there's a difference between a project selling out in 6 seconds versus having, pre-sale for 2 weeks and barely fill it.
Yeah, exactly, right? I would not buy anything that's done pre-sale for 2 weeks in terms of like, depending on the type of pre-sale. If it was one of the strong order offerings where like everyone contributes and then they get like an allocation based on it, then sure. But and like something that's sat there.
Definitely. And especially if they're gonna like launch right after. I mean, like if it's gonna take a while to fill, like you better like, have a week or so for marketing pre-launch. Or else they're just gonna dump, right? All the people are waiting. They're like, okay, it's not really going anywhere because everyone bought in already. Like there's no additional interest, no additional buy pressure, and then everyone just like loses their interest after 2 hours and starts selling. That's kind of the reality of this space.
Yeah. It's just the nature of it.
So just to summarize everything, you are the public, you're the face of the project. You're the one in control. You're the one who's going to be in control of the token and everything like that. And you have a large team, and some of them or most of them are not KYC'd, but that doesn't matter as long as the main person is docs KYC'd. So the safety is there, the hype is there. Like it's been going on for how long have you guys started working on it? How long has it been? Like since the beginning of this?
We got serious about it in probably around May of last year.
Okay, so almost 1 year in development. That's actually a lot of things you guys accomplished in a year. So that's pretty impressive that this whole thing, whole AI system was done, and that's in a year.
That's in 3. It means we can work like full time on this. It's not not doable. I think what happens is people outsource to dev shops and to like companies to make their product, and it's like they don't actually care.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like when they use like Fiverr or see the big thing for us too is when the CEO or the dev has really no business being a CEO or the dev, because in this space anyone could make a project, right? Anyone.
Yeah, look, the only thing I've ever used Fiverr for is having someone make us some stickers.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you have like all these guys pop out of the woodworks, never ran a project, never ran anything in their life, and they're going to have the biggest, best use case ever, but they have no idea how to do it. They just hire Fiverr devs, and then when things go wrong, they don't have the balls to be a CEO, and they cry about it, blame everyone else, and then just kind of like run away or like claim they're sick and they're in the hospital and they're gonna have to end their project because they can't deal with it anymore. This is like 95% of the space summarized, man. I'm telling you.
Dev died, yeah.
Yeah, Dev died. I mean, literally, we're like in 2 projects. I think like we actually were like real big investors, like we were hyped about, where they either like claim they were like, oh, they were in hospital, or like they have to leave the space because of health issues, or like they were even having like, oh, cancer diagnosis, like fake stuff, like they were like leaking to some of the their holders. And then we find their like actual personal account, and they're like completely living a different life, and it's like, you know, like they're like partying or whatever, you know. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, look, some people want to make the money but not actually do the work, you know. And it's shocking because,
exactly.
like, I don't know, in 2021, we'll run, I think anyone with a white paper made money. A lot of people who just, like, you know, took advantage, scammed, and did exactly as you described.
Yeah, that is probably one of the funniest memes. And I mean, funny but not funny at the same time. Like the whole dev died, you know, like or like devs working, or what's the big one? Trust the process. Also,
Trust the process.
Like projects down like 95%, and they're like, trust the process. You know, devs working.
Yeah, the process of me taking your farms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just yeah, it's shocking. Some of the things in this industry are shocking, but yeah, no, we're constantly developing. We've got a new release coming out later tonight. I just have to do some last minute testing on it after this call, actually, and then we have some new features coming on. I actually showed you that there was a playground for the moderation because people wanted to test it before they deployed it, so we made that little feature for them.
Also, one more thing I wanted to briefly touch on is where I was trying to find where the roadmap is at. If there's any, is there a roadmap?
Yeah, there is a roadmap. It should be on the pitch deck. It should also be in the docs. It is a 1-year roadmap, and the reason for that is AI is quite unpredictable. If I made you a 2 or 3 year roadmap, there's no way I could stick to it because things would change, and sticking to it would be just bad for the project. So the roadmap is till the end of the year, and there's a bit of a roadmap preview for 2025. We have things we want to do as well, but I'd rather not announce them because they're not worth really announcing at this point.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff, especially if you want to keep it secret, so you don't want anyone to copy it, is you want to be as quiet as possible as some of the big, unique developments that you guys are working on. Okay, so yeah, I definitely agree with you about the AI and the roadmap stuff. Like, I mean, obviously, you never know. AI might be banned for a year from now. You know, it might try to take over the government and just be completely banned. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but the way things develop, you can never predict things like this, how quickly things develop. And I think it'd be nice to put out a 3-year roadmap, you know?
Okay, I found the roadmap. It's on the docs. Yeah, on the docs page. So quarter 2, quarter 3. Yeah, I just wanted to see like the rough idea of when all the things in development are coming. So so the chat or the assistant for groups, that's gonna be ready right at launch with the whole revenue generation.
Yeah, that's already in beta. Revenue generation will start a few months later, just because we need to finish.
So right now Octavia good enough. So right now you're gonna basically letting your groups use it for free, as in for like beta testing or just spread the word.
And then beta testing, it generates us data, it generates us more awareness of Octavia. Every group that joins is on average about 15,000 members. So it's a lot of
it's like basically free advertisement in a way, because someone's going to join some other token and they're going to see there's this AI bot that's moderating. They're going to be interested. They're going to want to use it for their own project. Yeah, it's almost like it's like almost like affiliate marketing, but you don't have to pay anyone anything because you're not charging them, they're not charging you. So win-win for everybody, I guess, for now. So yeah, it's great. And then the assistant personal, that's going to be what's the rough target for that one?
Yeah, so the rough target, it's hard to put an exact target, but I want to definitely have by the end of the year you being able to message Octavia and it goes off and does the research and comes back with your new tokens that it's just bought you.
Okay, so I think that's honestly all the questions I had. Like everything looks solid, tokenomics, no issues there, and the raises, nothing crazy. Nobody got like 80% discounts or nothing. So
yeah, look, we built kind of bear market tokenomics, and we didn't really change them too much once we went into this full market we're in. And I think that's the right thing to do in terms of like delivering value to people who hold the token. Yeah, I'm probably too honest for this industry. You know, we have enough money to make the product, and then we're going to be generating revenue from the automated moderation. So we're pretty happy with where we stand in terms of the raise, and then everyone else is pretty happy because we're not, you know, raising 10 million on a 50 million valuation. You know? When we 100% could. Have you seen the hype of this thing? Like 6 seconds sold on ChainGPT. It's insane.
Anyway, so I just said, if you've seen the chat, some guy just spammed me a whole bunch of questions, and I said, yeah, please don't Google questions. This is not that kind of AMA. We don't have bots spamming like same copy and paste questions in here. You know, like that's the different lounge. You know, we don't do that stuff around here. But anyways, all his questions are basically covered, so there's really nothing there. I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed. Gabriel, I know you have a couple questions. Come on, Gabriel. Where's Gabriel at?
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah. What is your opinion? You have any questions?
I was thinking, but you basically asked everything.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I feel like we had AMAs last like 4 hours long before, but like this one I thought it's gonna be super long because there's like so much content. You know, like went through the whole, you know, pitch deck, white paper and all that. But I feel like it's pretty much cut and dry. Like I got all the information I needed fairly quickly and everything's solid. So it's really basically
What we're about
just
simple excellent products.
Was that?
That's fine.
So the marketing, right? After launch, oh yeah, that's another thing we could, I guess, briefly discuss is after, like, what is your strategy or plans? I feel for this type of thing, since you have a product, you want to build a user base, right? So the whole thing you're doing now with, you know, just getting it in the groups, getting the bot in the groups, that's going to help a lot with, you know, with eyes on the project itself. And at launch too, do you have any kind of specific or special type of promotions or marketing you guys are planning on?
Look, getting the bot into as many groups as possible is absolutely like key. Number one, if we can get to that 1,500 figure as soon as possible, it'd be excellent. So we've just hired 2 business development guys to just go out and hammer partnerships, hammer all that. There is a lot of strategy to the project. Revealing some of the strategy actually weakens how effective it is, because there are things like we want to make sure that we're not that we've got the right holders. They've got people who are in it for the long run, those sort of things. Yeah, so if you like, if everything I've done here convinced you and you've done your due diligence and all that, join us. Obviously not financial advice. And you want to be part of the Octavia ecosystem, you're more than welcome to join us. And yeah, we're gonna be rolling out a bunch more marketing post TG.
Thank you, man. Oh, I actually have a very important question. It's the most important question of this whole AMA. Is why not pink sale?
Why not pink sale? Well, a good reason why not pink sale is because if we launch on a bunch of big launch pads, we get more attraction and we get more access to their customers to get the bot into their customers groups. But look, I actually don't mind pink sale. Pink sale is not a bad platform. Like, I can't say too much negative about it.
Yeah. But because
it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose.
I think pink sale, Gempad, those launch pads, the XL would definitely be, I think, be easier for some people to get in, right? Like, at least you don't have to like do a large allocation. Like
Gempad's excellent. We did an allocation with Gempad. The guys over there are excellent. They're trying to do something a bit different there. I know Niall and all the people at Gempad. They're really good people. They helped us out.
You guys are not going to have any sale on there, right? On the Gempad.
We did actually really early on. We did 100.
Oh, you did? Was there like the private sale, part of the private sale?
Yeah, that was part of the private sale. It was the biggest part of the private sale.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if I ever heard about you guys back then, because I'm pretty close with Gempad actually.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I don't know. I must have missed it. When did this happen?
Oh, it would have been September of last year. So it was early.
September. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's the time I probably wasn't paying attention to like all the DeFi space as much at that time.
Yeah, it was a quiet time too, to be fair.
Yeah, it was
Before
kind of
that,
quiet. Yeah, like everything just going sideways. Like wasn't really going up. The market was pretty stale at that time. But
yeah,
yeah,
we
man,
feel that.
that's
We feel
good.
that nicely.
Yeah, jump pads is definitely good. Okay, so that's kind of my question because I was wondering, like, why don't you guys go with those like the easy to use launch pads that everyone always uses that don't require KYC? Like, because for me the big thing is like in the US, a lot of them like I can't even use because they require KYC, but they don't allow USA. So it's like, what can I do?
Yeah, well, we did. We did. But obviously, that was early on. That was explicitly private. We wanted to make sure that was a private, like people knew it was private sale. It wasn't. We weren't deploying the tokens like that week or anything like that.
Yeah.
We had less interest there, but we still sold out. Not an issue. We had over the course of like a day, and that was good.
Okay, perfect, man. That's basically all the questions I have. Anyone actually have any more questions? Anyone want to ask anything? Feel free.
May I? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you asked about this one. Did you train on your personal servers or you borrowed the servers?
So we're renting servers from Azure at the moment. Yeah, Microsoft's.
Oh, okay. So it's not your personal, yeah?
No, we don't own the servers because the training run only takes us about an hour on Azure. And if we were to rent our own, like have our own servers, like physically, we would either need a lot of servers or the training runs would take a very long time. So this way we can rent like 20, 30, 90 all at once and do the training run in an hour instead of having just one 30, 90 and run it for like 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good question actually. Yeah, and I feel like renting, servers like Amazon, Microsoft, whatever. I think that's unless you're already like after you've already been in operation for a long time and you want to cut costs. But at least for the beginning ease of use, I think it's just better just to rent it.
Yeah, and we have a grant from Microsoft that makes that pretty much a non-issue in terms of cost.
Okay, perfect. That's good. That's good. A good question though.
Yeah, sketchy project. We call that a Microsoft partnership.
Oh yeah. Just rent the service from Microsoft and some from Amazon, and then look, we partnered. This is what projects do, right? They're like, we partner with like 550 million different companies.
Yeah, well we got $150,000 worth of. Yeah, we got $150,000 worth of credit with Microsoft for free. So
I have another one. Yeah, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
The bot, like the AI, and did you train your own version, like you designed your own version, or you use some, already tested version on mass scale, and you just adjusted it?
So when you say AI, so when you message Octavia, a lot of different models get activated. For example, if you ask it to search the internet, we have different models for that. So there are models that are trained entirely by us. There are models that are just ChatGPT, and then there are models that are like models that are trained by other people that we've fine-tuned. So there's definitely like, depending on your question, depending on how much like there's a different mixture of different models. Like there's multiple models that occur and get activated every time you message Octavia. The moderation model itself is entirely trained by us.
Mm-hmm. And do you plan to design your own AI system, or you just want to, use something that's tested?
No. So we are building our own systems. It's just in the instance where we want to build out something quickly, it's generally easier but less effective to use an existing system. But then we go back and we replace it with something that's custom made for the solution. The way Octavia works is it's a lot of different models that get activated in different ways. So it's never just one model. So we can never say like, this went to, I don't know, OpenAI, because like I guess if you send a message, I don't know, Octavia, what's the price of Bitcoin, and can you draw me a picture of a car? That's like 5 different models that will get activated over the course of responding to that message.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, I know. It's specialization. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Any more?
Yeah, I can.
Gabriel, you're investing, right? You're investing. I know you are.
I have a question because Borja asked me yesterday if I found another program that's basically using artificial intelligence and genetic algorithms to look for strategies for trading on the stock market.
Yeah, it's really machine learning. That we have a software we've been using. It just number crunches through like millions of different algorithms. At least my computer, I could do like millions like per hour.
Yeah, I think there are much smarter people than me working on that. In terms of doing that, like at QA firms and hedge funds and those sorts. So I don't know if I want to get into that. It seems very technical heavy. Whereas I think like basic strategy, where it's like, I think like obviously when the SEC does this action, the market will change. Those sort of basic strategies and be able to go like do this thing when this thing happens is way more interesting to me and way more interesting to make happen. Because I don't want to work on things that other people are working on, especially things that other people who are smarter than me are working on.
I mean, because those kind of things, it is very complicated. Like there's like a million different options. Like there's like 80 different indicators to use with all different settings, all different money management type of stuff. See, the thing that would be cool though is something like an AI would be good for is like indicator of like, let's say public news plus like social media and something like a bot that would literally like AI bot that would literally like, okay, Elon Musk tweets or like CEO of a company releases some PR and the bot AI would know if it's like based just on like some kind of algorithm, if it's bullish, like if it's a good news or bad news, and if it's good news, they would like buy it immediately, like buy the stock or whatever. I think that's one way that in the future would be good.
We have the first half of that.
What's that?
We have the first half of that. It's not live, but we have that. Basically ingests news automatically. So like,
it's like a sentiment tracker, right? Like there are already like bots like that, like sentiment type of trading, where it's like, oh, Wall Street Bets is talking about it, or it's trending on Twitter, or trending on Reddit. Usually by that time it's too late.
Yeah. So what we want to do is the moment we see news that we haven't seen before, that like is over a certain threshold in terms of how much it's going to move the market, what we want to do is allow groups to subscribe to it. So that if you're in the group, you're chatting, and the Octavia's like, oh, I don't know, someone just got arrested. It'll come up automatically to your chat.
Yeah, Bill Gates got arrested. Immediately short Microsoft.
Yeah, right. Yeah, basically. So that's one of the features we'll have at some point. I don't want to talk too much about that. We're working on that, but it's just not a priority. But we have the part of that built.
Okay, yeah, that'd definitely be also an interesting thing, especially because you guys have the whole foundation for it with the personal AI thing that's in the future, and like you said, the World Cup and all that. So this is basically what that is, right? The whole World Cup. Okay, the winner is announced within like a second. You'll be able to say. So this kind of same technology could be used.
Yeah, well, I don't want to ever go to CoinMarketCap and see the market's down 20% and not know why. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to know what happened first, and then see the market collapse.
Yeah, that's why usually a lot of times like the way I know it's dumping is because I have a whole bunch of alerts on, and then I'm like, why is it dumping? Like there's nothing in the news yet. Why is it going down 20% or like why is Bitcoin dumping today? And then like 5 minutes later they all say oh, this happened or there's something there. But usually the insiders know first because it's Bitcoin. Come on, it's not regulated. A whole bunch of bullshit going on in Bitcoin. Of course it's going to dump before the news is out. But yeah, perfect.
So I have another question. So basically, we want to, know 5 minutes before dump.
Yeah, please let us know.
Exactly. But like if you actually watch how quickly the news spreads, it takes a minute or two for it to go to dump after the news comes out. If we can send it to people, then
Please let me know when NVIDIA is gonna dump. I need to know. But
monitor NVIDIA's news and let me know the moment there's something new. Like that's something you can do.
I think everyone right now is eyeing NVIDIA because they're like, when are you gonna buy this put? So when are we gonna start shorting it? You know, like
I sold my NVIDIA.
Yeah, I literally sold it like 400 because it literally gapped from like 250 to 350, and I'm like, okay, it ain't going anywhere, man. I think this is it. And then it's going, and that's like double that.
Oh no, I thought mine was completely out of so I feel like biggest regret. I was like, COVID is over. Nobody's buying GPUs. We're good.
Yeah, and the whole NVIDIA thing is pumping right now. It's because of AI. So this is all related. You know, all these. So I actually thought of like, you know, like a what if, because we kind of joke about conspiracy theories here. You know, especially Gabriel. He's like the king of conspiracy theories. So I had this thing in my head. I'm like, what if the AI is already controlling the market and the government? So the AI is pumping NVIDIA so it could build itself. You know, like Terminator type stuff. You know, like.
We're all screwed then.
But yeah, man. Honestly, man, it's a great pleasure to having you here, and you're definitely one of the devs that did not cry in our AMAs. You know, so that's a very good sign.
And now I'm gonna listen to some more of your AMAs.
Yeah, because like I said, you know, like everyone wants to be CEO or everyone wants to run a project, but not everyone has what it takes. So if you're gonna be butthurt or if you're gonna cry or defend yourself from actual legit type of, you know, issues that have been raised, then you really have no business running, you know. And that's kind of a good way that we could filter like who has what it takes and who doesn't, you know, like. And especially there's adversity, there's like some FUD or there's people and there's some issues going on. Are devs going to cry about it and run away with the tail between their legs, or are they going to actually act like an actual CEO and take care of things?
Yeah, exactly. It's been a pleasure, honestly. It really has.
So, do you want to do like a closing statement, and then we'll end the recording, and then after that we'll get on with the giveaway. Talk about all that.
Yeah, closing statement, I guess join our Telegram t.me/Octavia or our Discord at discord.gg/Octavia. And check out IDO and our actual token launch on the 20th of February at 1 p.m. UTC.
Perfect. Thank you, man. And thanks for coming here to Anti-Ruggers. We enjoy having you here. We did use the Bogged bot for years on our other token, and it's still there. So thanks for all that. And honestly, I'm definitely going to be looking at this project and figuring out the best way to invest. And also, everyone that's here today that's not in that group already, like I encourage you guys all to join in, especially if you're going to win the giveaway, because we do offer incentives for the giveaway winners to actually invest into the project. So that's actually kind of cool little thing that's probably different than most other lounges. Is like there's a reason to pay attention, right? Because especially if you're gonna win that giveaway, like if you invest, it's a very big perk for you. So it's actually really good. So yeah, thanks for that, man. And honestly, yeah, I see you over there, and good luck on the next 2 races, and then also a launch. I'm just wondering how if you're gonna get sniped or not, like how hard it's gonna go at launch, because it's 0 attacks. That could be a lot of what's his name, Jared action.
I can't speculate too much, but obviously we're making sure that we're not going to put out. Look, we're not silly. We're not going to put ourselves in a situation where someone's just eaten up all the liquidity and liquidity.
Yeah. And plus, it's gonna be uncentralized, so you could buy either one. You could buy it on Uniswap, right, or Uniswap, or the Gate.io, or the other exchange. Was it Gate.io?
Apologies, I just got kicked. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay, yeah. The confirmed exchange is Gate.io, right?
Yes, that's the one that I'm allowed to talk to you about.
Okay. Perfect. So thanks, man. I'm going to be ending the recording right now, and we'll be doing the giveaway. And if anyone has any questions, you can still, ask in chat. And I'll encourage you all to go to the group and show support. Go to the Octavia Telegram. And thanks all.
Awesome. Thanks so much.